From Ozarks First, you're watching KOLR 10 News at 10.
We begin at 10 with video of scenes looking more like a winter wonderland than summer as severe weather rolls through the Ozarks. This is near Conway, where hail covered one woman's deck. Many parts of our area also received hail tonight, some as large as baseballs.
Yeah, Springfield mostly spared from the severe weather today and this evening.
But other Ozark cities do have some cleanup to do. Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner is detailing what's left of the storms tonight and what we can expect overnight.
Well, the good news is the severe weather threat has come to an end. We still have some showers and thunderstorms out there, but they're not severe, and most of this activity is now southeast of Springfield, tracking across Ozark County. Looks like another batch of storms moving through the Gainesville area. That activity pushing off to the southeast. Heavy rain, frequent lightning, maybe some gusty winds. I think that's going to be the worst of it, though, that we find with that activity. And notice that our watches have come to an end as well. And also across northern Arkansas, they've been trimmed out. So again, the severe weather threat looks to be over with for the time being. Rain cooled in much of the area. It's in the 60s and low 70s. Notice off to the west, so you get into Joplin, it's still 84 there. 72 right now in Springfield. It looks like another round of scattered showers and thunderstorms possible Tuesday morning especially. It looks like long about sunrise and thereafter, scattered showers and thunderstorms will probably fire back up over western Missouri. And I think that will impact the Springfield area at points during the morning. And then that will shift east out of the area. And as it moves out, heat and sunshine is allowed to move in, and it looks like temperatures will warm out of the 70s and then maybe quickly through the 80s and into the 90s during the afternoon hours. So we've got some hot weather to talk about for Tuesday and Wednesday, but this is a mini heat wave. It looks like we've got some relief in store just in time for this upcoming weekend. Of all the details coming up. Stephen Bailey.
All right, thanks, Jamie. High winds from those severe warm storms caused a lot of damage today. Some places seeing blown off roofs and destroyed barns.
KOLR 10 Shadiah Tomlin is in Halfway, Missouri tonight in Polk County, north of Springfield, detailing damages there.
It was a chaotic scene as a powerful storm came through and blew over a woman's barn, leaving behind a trail of destruction. The incident took place around 3:30 this afternoon, catching the residents off guard. The family says that they were watching the storm from inside of the house. After it all settled down, they came out and saw the barn had been picked up by the wind. While the barn suffered significant damage, the tools and equipment stored inside were unharmed. In addition to the barn's damage, residents also reported experienced hail the size of ping pong balls during the storm. I spoke with the family about the damage.
The wind had to have just picked it up, so I don't know if it was a small tornado or straight line winds or exactly what happened. We didn't even know anything had happened. I had gone out to the yard to take pictures of the hail, and I thought, well, I'll just walk across the porch and see what happened, and I noticed that the barn had been blown over.
The family says that this is the first time something like this has happened, but they're happy that they had insurance to cover the damages. Reporting in Halfway, I'm Shadiah Tomlin, Ozarks First.
Residents in Seymour are cleaning up after strong winds caused quite a bit of damage. A tree was knocked down in one yard, and we saw a power pole leaning over as electric crews tried to keep it from falling onto a home.
More severe weather struck parts of the Ozarks today. Check out this video of storm clouds rolling in over the Walmart in Ozark. In Elkton, a viewer sent us this picture of hail almost as large as the palm of her hand. And then look at this picture of the clouds rolling in off I-44 near Lebanon earlier this evening. In Marshfield, winds were so powerful that it sent this tree tumbling down. Look at damage at a building there.
Tree removal calls are pouring in following multiple rounds of severe weather dating to late last week. KOLR 10 spoke to Springfield Public Works crews today who worked through the weekend to clear debris from Friday's storms.
Over the weekend, starting Friday night about 8 o'clock, we got 18 calls for trees, or I could say tree parts, down affecting city right away. Anything that's in the roadways is what we're covering. The first thing that they should do is call our Citizen Resource Center. This is all basically paid for through taxes. So yeah, so there's no additional fees.
We have that number for you tonight, the Citizen Resource Center at 417-864-1010. 417-864-1010. You can call the number for any trees you need removed from city roadways.
Missouri agriculture officials are asking people to conserve water due to worsening drought conditions across the state. About a quarter of Missouri is in an extreme drought right now, and it's even worse as you head up to central Missouri. The director of the Department of Agriculture says while the recent rains are very much needed, the hail and high winds are making it even worse for farmers.
It doesn't take a whole lot of wind right now to knock that corn crop over. When that crop falls over, it pretty much is the end of that plant's life cycle.
Chen says this drought is causing farmers to make tough decisions like sending their cattle to market early because of a lack of feed. With little to no grass left in some areas for livestock, farmers are forced to pay more than double the price for a bale of hay, and soon your pocketbook will be impacted too.
So right now you're going to see more beef on the market, which should help on prices short term, but long term, it's going to make our beef prices probably be increased for a long period of time, because to rebuild those herds back, it's a 2 to 3 year process.
The state is asking everyone to limit watering their lawns and gardens right now and be mindful of the amount of water you're using inside your home too. A shooting in North Springfield sent one person to the hospital just after midnight this morning.
And now neighbors are telling KOLR 10 they don't feel safe in their homes. KOLR 10's Carissa Codell is in studio tonight sharing those residents' concerns.
Yeah, the neighbors I spoke to say they frequently see patrol cars in the neighborhood. They tell me they're trying to stay out of the way of police and not interfere with investigations. Do you feel safe in your home?
No.
The most recent shooting in North Springfield has neighbors on edge. One woman has lived in the Robertson neighborhood for over 30 years.
Just because you live on one side of the neighborhood or one side of the city doesn't make you, less than anybody else.
She tells me the neighborhood used to be a safer place where everyone could play in the street. But a few years ago, a woman broke into her house from the back door while she was out front mowing her yard.
Ever since that happened, I don't feel safe. And now with the shootings, just a block or 3 blocks away from me is really unnerving.
The scene of this morning's shooting has been involved in previous calls to police. 2 nights ago, police were called to the house on North Rogers for shots fired, and one person was injured. Then they were called a few more times.
And officers did get called back to that same location July 16th in the early morning hours, a little after 1 a.m. To a report of shots fired again, but no evidence of shots fired had been located at that time. Today, a little after midnight, officers responded to that same address again to the report of shots fired. There was another victim with non-life-threatening injuries.
Walk away, don't go back for revenge. Leave that to God.
And police tell me no arrests have been made so far in the most recent shooting. They do believe the suspect and victim knew each other. Steve?
All right, Carissa Codell reporting tonight. The power is back on for a Springfield neighborhood tonight after a natural gas line exploded late this morning. City utilities crews were performing routine maintenance when a valve wouldn't close, sparking a massive fire. Some neighbors near Lake Springfield were ordered to evacuate, and power was knocked out to nearly 2,000 customers.
That fireball happened, as you'll see behind me. That fireball went into the electric lines and into the distribution system and has created quite a bit of damage. Some of the folks were home when this happened. They felt it, they heard it, and some of them even further north of here felt it and heard it.
I kind of felt the house shake just a little bit, but it was the noise whenever I came out, just the rushing, the roaring of the fire. I have never seen a big fire like that before.
Crews were able to put out the fire early this afternoon. Power has been restored to the area. There were 3 people working on the natural gas line when the explosion occurred. No one was hurt, but a vehicle was destroyed by the fire. Dramatic video from St. Charles near St. Louis of a home exploding this morning. 5 people, including 2 children, were taken to the hospital suffering burns after a neighbor heard the explosion and called 911. The St. Charles fire chief says he believes the home is a total loss. The cause is under investigation.
A 40-year-old cold case has officially ended with a St. Louis man being sentenced to up to 20 years in prison for murdering a man from Kansas. 67-year-old Jeter Rimes was sentenced today for the 1985 stabbing of Gary Watson, a case that went cold shortly after Watson's death. The Johnson County Sheriff's Office reviewed the cold case back in 2020, and experts determined fingerprints found at the scene belonged to Rimes and another man, Ricky Davis, who is now deceased. Rimes pleaded no contest to charges earlier this year. Well, if you like a good scare, you may be interested in an event coming to Springfield later this week. Paranormal Cirque is a circus mixed with theater and cabaret with some spooky twists. The event will be at the Battlefield Mall parking lot from Thursday through Sunday. Tickets range in price from $15 to $60. No one under the age of 13 can attend. Anyone younger than 17 must be accompanied by a parent.
Still to come at 10, heavy rain pounding the northeast, roads washing away right in front of drivers' eyes. The damage done by Mother Nature after Jamie Warner's 7-day forecast.
And it's a fight right now. Hot air trying to build into the area, helping to generate the stormy pattern that we're in right now. Eventually it wins out. We've got a couple of days of very hot conditions before that mini heat wave goes back the other way. We'll talk more about our temperatures and additional storm chances in your forecast next.
You're watching Color 10 News, Ozarks First with Steve Savard, Bailey Stroll, weather with Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner, and sports with Dan Lucy. This is Color 10 News at 10.